host of the Gridiron.
Fourth and goal to go with the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, right? I mean, but unfortunately, this is not. Could we turn the clock back to 2004? Because in 2004, right, there was some pretty good quarterbacks, right? Unlike this season, right? I mean, there's Cam Ward, and then there's a drop off, right? Meaning in 2004. The Giants, Ernie Accorsi was also talking about, I said we either wanted Eli or we wanted Ben Roethlisberger, right? So quite possibly if the Giants got shut out of the Eli and they couldn't make a trade or nothing like that or whatever, they were going to draft Ben Roethlisberger. So that might have worked out well for him as well too. But what they were able to do was, since there were a few really good quarterbacks in 2004, the Giants were actually able to trade up and swap picks with the Chargers. The Chargers got Phillip Rivers, and that worked out. I mean, for the Steelers, the Chargers and the Giants, none of them can complain. The only thing, obviously the Chargers can complain about was, they never won a Super Bowl. Never got to a Super Bowl with Rivers, but Rivers was a really good quarterback. Rivers never lost to Eli. Anytime they went head to head, Phillip Rivers wound up winning. Right, so Phillip, his career was even longer than Eli's. Right, he had a very good career, very very good career. So none of those can complain. The thing was, my point is here in 2004, right, is that, there's none of this, where the Giants pick the phone up, hey, Tennessee, we draft Shedeur, right? Would you be interested in Shedeur, and we'll give you some other draft picks to move up? Probably not. Quite possibly it's Cam Ward or nothing. They may not want. They may not want Shedeur, unfortunately. Right. Now, let's not forget the Giants, obviously, just to go up from pick 4 to pick 1, cost them some draft capital. Cost them their first round pick in 2004, cost them their third round pick in 2004. They kept their second round pick, 2004, where they drafted Chris Snee. So that wound up being really good for the Giants. So they got Eli Manning and Chris Snee in 2004. The problem was in 2005, they gave up a first round pick. And let's see, let me pick this out here. That's when there we go. That's when the Chargers really did well. Right? They took Shawne Merriman, pick number, was it 12? So the Giants gave up their first round pick in 2005, which wound up being Shawne Merriman, who wound up having a very good career. And then they took, they gave up their fifth round pick. So the Giants gave up 2 firsts, a third, and a fifth to go up 3 spots, however you want to, from 4 to 1. Right. So, as I said, the Chargers drafted Shawne Merriman. They also got Phillip Rivers. They got Shawne Merriman. They got Nate Kaeding. And then they got Jerome Collins, a 5th round pick. So the Giants had to ante up some draft capital. But that's only because, the Chargers were looking for a quarterback. Right? Obviously. And the Giants, Ernie Accorsi, picked the phone up, called the Chargers, said, we get Phillip Rivers, would you trade with us? The Chargers were interested in Phillip Rivers. So the Chargers not only got Phillip Rivers, but they got some extra draft capital. That may not be the situation here. I don't think the Giants could pick the phone up and call, the Titans and say, look, we got Shedeur Sanders. Could we swap swap picks. We'll get Cam one. Don't think that's a situation. I can't blame one bit the Titans one bit. I mean, I they are, interested in possibly maybe trading out of but it looks like it's going to cost. It's going to cost quite possibly, a few first round picks for the Titans to move, even back a couple spots. So the Giants might have to ante up even more to go from 3-1 than what they did, 2004, 21 years ago, to go from 4-1, right? It just because I said back in 2004 they had Ben Roethlisberger. I don't see, were there any other quarterbacks taken that year? Let me see here. Who we got here? Let's see. Up second round. Where are we at? It's 2004. Okay, we got 2004. So you got Eli, Phillip Rivers, Larry Fitzgerald got taken number 3 overall. Let's see. I said Ben Roethlisberger made it to number 11. DJ Will Smith, Ryan. Oh, good old Vince Wilfork. Yeah. Nope. Don't look like it. No. So, but those 3 quarterbacks were all worth their weight in gold. I mean, you could have won a Super Bowl. Obviously, Ben Roethlisberger won a Super Bowl. He won. Let's see. He won. They beat the Seahawks, right? Then they lost to. They beat the Seahawks. They beat the Cardinals. And then they lost 2010 to the Packers. So Roethlisberger went to 3 Super Bowls, 1, 2. Right, his second season, 2005. Now was it 2004, 2005, 2004 or 5? No, 5. I'm sorry, 2005. Yeah, 2005 was the Steelers. 2006, we got Manning and Manning, 6 and 7. Peyton Manning 1 and 6 because the Colts beat the Bears. 2007, Eli Manning. So 2005, the Steelers beat the Seahawks. Right, so Roethlisberger got 1 Super Bowl. Right, and 2008, right, the Giants should have won back-to-back Super Bowls, but Roethlisberger, that was a real good one against the Cardinals. I mean, that drive they had at the end, that pass that Roethlisberger had in the corner of the ends, what a pass. So he won 2, and then he went back to his 3rd one 2 years later, right, in 2010, but they lost to the Packers. Right, that was Aaron Rodgers' only Super Bowl win. So Ben Roethlisberger went to 3 Super Bowls and won 2. Eli went to 2, won 2. Phillip Rivers never made it to a Super Bowl, although, if you gave him a good team, because the Steelers were very, very good. They had a good offensive line, very good defense, right? The Giants, obviously, when they won, they had, it seemed like they really, the Giants really came around and gelled really well in the playoffs in 7 and 11, and Eli carried them pretty much in 11, But I said Phillip Rivers, given a really good team and all that stuff and everything, he certainly could have won a Super Bowl as well. So that's the difference, is that this year, there's no trading up for the Giants. I think it's possibly with the Titans is either Cam Ward or nothing. We want Cam Ward. If we can't get Cam Ward, give us a bunch of draft picks. We want a lot, right? We'll move back and we'll draft maybe they'll grab somebody in the 2nd round or whatever. But it looks like it's going to be pretty expensive for the Giants to move up, or any team. And once again, I don't blame them. If the Titans, because I think they have a new regime in there and all and everything. If the Titans feel right that Cam Ward is the guy going forward, you take him. You got to take him. You take him, and if he's your guy, you plug him in there, and for hopefully, if they're lucky for the next 10, 15 years, you don't got to worry about a quarterback, right? And, when you're in quarterback purgatory like the Giants are, you see how, right? See how screwed we've been. for ever since Eli retired. Right, we're still looking for a long-term solution. Obviously we got Russell Wilson in there, Jameson Winston, but we're still looking for a long-term solution to quarterback. So it's not a nice place to be.